Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Rena Baltic Witch and today we continue to explore various Oracle and Tarot deck spreads as per usual we do on Wednesdays. And as you can see on my table, we'll be using the Stellar Visions Oracle cards deck today. And the spread will be from the guidebook to this deck. This is it. I have it in my hands and we'll be looking at the situation. So the spread we'll be doing today is called the Holistic Perspective. It is meant to help you understand the situation a little bit better. We'll be doing a little explanation of the spread that we'll be doing, and then after that, we'll do a little drawing of the cards for the collective. So, all the timestamps as well as the name of the deck will be down below in the description section, as always. So, feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to learn the spread and just want to watch the reading. As always, also a little guidance to those who are learning tarot and readings. Use your intuition when you're reading. Of course, you can refer to the guidebook. I will be referring to the guidebook as this deck is slightly different to the usual decks. And also, you don't really need to use this specific deck to do your reading if you want to repeat it as well. Just use whichever deck you have at hand, whichever speaks to you, which is more comfortable for you to use. Let's begin with explaining the spread. We will be drawing four cards. The cards are very big. It is an oracle deck, so I hope I will manage to place them here on my table. Not a big space that I've left myself, but I just wanted to show off my little violet that started blooming. I'm so happy. Um, the three cards down below that we'll be placing here on the bottom, and let me refer to the guidebook to give you exact information, are called, the first card is called the surface. It is about your conscious mind perceiving the situation. Card 2 is called the hidden. That is about your subconscious mind perceiving the situation at hand. And card number 3 is called the soulful, how your higher self perceives the situation. And we'll be placing one more card here on top, which is action to pursue based on the information we'll get from the three cards below. This is very simple, just to get an additional information, additional explanation to the situation you are facing. Now, welcome back everyone who skipped ahead to the reading. This is a reading for the collective. If it has found you, then probably there isn't something in it for you. But of course, it is also very possible that since it's for everyone, the messages in this reading might not resonate with you. If they don't, please leave them behind. And of course, use your own intuition. You might be getting some messages from the reading that are more relatable to your situations than what I am saying here. And of course, as always, I say, don't refer to these readings as the solution for everything. Use your sound judgment, and if you need help, then turn for help to specialists rather than this. This is more for entertainment purposes, especially readings for the collective. Now, let's go in the spirit and thank the spirit for overseeing this act of divination and helping us out. I will try to shuffle. We are looking into a situation. Since this is a reading for the collective, the message might come through whatever possible message. So we'll just see what we get. This deck is a bit difficult to shuffle, but hopefully we do manage. Okay, let's take this card as our first card. So we're placing three cards. This one is how your conscious mind, your conscious present perceives the situation, what it thinks of the situation. Let's take this one. So this is your subconscious perception. Just making sure that there is space on the table. And one more card below for the description of the situation. Let's take this one. Okay, so this is your higher self perception of the situation, and then the call to action. But of course, we tied it in with the other three cards that we got. Let's see what we get here. Yes, this one flipped over, so this is definitely the card that we want to see here. All right, so I'm gonna be placing them a little bit like this. We'll be putting the rest of the deck aside, not to bother us, and let's see what we got. So, first card, and let me turn it around. We have Saturn and discipline. So the keyword is discipline. It is a planet. So this deck is um, um, astrological deck. So it has to do a lot with planets, with zodiac signs, and things like that. Inspirations for this card. This guidebook is very fun. It gives you affirmations and inspirations. So the inspirations for this card are be an authority. We know that Saturn is quite an authority planet. Build strong foundations. See how less can be more, and remember that actions have consequences. So, affirmation for this card is I know when to say no. And there is also a stellar reflection question here for you. What do I truly stand for? So maybe your conscious mind is really currently in your daily waking time. You are asking these kind of questions. Do I say no to the situation? Do I say yes? How to set the boundaries? What do you stand for? It might be a situation where you are asked to do something that you don't really find right necessarily. You are trying to figure out which side to take and whether you can set the boundaries or not. Um, I believe the phrase remember that actions have consequences it would be very important. We all should remember that whatever we do, um, it is important to do these things according to our best judgment, moral standards, and really perceive that there are consequences to every single action that we do. This card, this planet also suggests that you don't rush into things and think through um, basically the slow and steady wins the race kind of situation. Maybe whatever you're trying to build in your life is taking time, but better do it thoroughly and not to pay twice in the future. So really think things through. Don't worry if there are delays as long as you make things thoroughly and according to high moral standards. Yeah. And if things really need to be said no to, because they're expired for you, they don't really work anymore for you, or it is something that you disagree with, strongly disagree with, then make sure that you set that boundary and say no. So this should probably is on your mind in your waking time, in the conscious time. Let's see what the subconscious card is and what does it say. We have the South Node and tendencies. I would say this tells me that you might be falling into same patterns or tendencies, but of course, let's see what also the guidebook says. I'm not that familiar with the notes and with the astrology, but we'll see. So, inspiration phrases or phrases that might help you understand the situation better are take note of déjà vu, so repeating things, patterns, situations that seem to be repeating themselves, retreat, rest, and renew. Remember that old habits die hard and don't be overly attached to the past. So you might be subconsciously repeating the same patterns, reverting back to the same habits that might not necessarily serve you well. Something with this discipline and saying no is talking to me about people's pleasing. Maybe you are a people's pleasing and that's your kind of tendency and habit, and you really are struggling with setting boundaries, and just by default, that your go-to is to please others. But we'll see what we'll get in our last two cards. And we also have an affirmation message for this card. I am conscious of my attachments to the past. I am conscious of my attachments to the past. This card invites you to find those patterns, see those patterns, and be conscious of the patterns and your attachments to the past. What do you keep repeating and doing over and over? There is also a reflection question for you. Which habits would I like to release? So, probably there are certain things that you don't like about yourself, certain habits that you do automatically without even thinking, that come from your subconscious. You keep reverting to the things over and over, then maybe you want to release them and do some work on that. Yes. And also, this card invites you to look at the situations differently, to change your ways. If you habitually keep doing something same way over and over, maybe now is the time to see and try to do things slightly differently. Maybe the old ways aren't actually working for you anymore. So I would say, in regards to the whole situation, if you want to set the boundaries, figure out if you should be saying yes or no to the situation, and not really do by default what you usually do. Take a step back and do look at how you react to situations, what you're the go-to, the default setup, so to say, how you react, and look at the situation from different perspectives. You might find new ways how to do things that would actually work for you better than the previous ones that have been holding you back because you don't really explore the new things. It is scary to explore, but you are invited by this card to look at things in a new way, release those ingrained habits that don't let you develop, that keep you stagnant. It is a possibility to renew things for yourself. So maybe this is a good situation to actually change things up. So let's see what the higher self will tell us with this card here. It is called the third house. So, once again, an astrology term, learning. Um, right away, for me, this is a card saying that this whole situation you are finding yourself in, I know it's very ambiguous because I'm reading for the collective, but the situation is a possibility for you to learn new things if you release the habits. Look at the situation from outside the box, from a new perspective. You definitely can learn new things, and your higher self already knowing that the flow of that information coming your way is suggesting that. Let's see what the guidebook says. Third house. Give me a second. I will find it in a second. Third house, learning. So your inspirations from the guidebook for this card are learn a new language. See, you can already a suggestion. Focus on the local. Go on a short journey. Be mindful of routine interactions. There's a lot of things we can learn from routine interactions if we actually pay attention to these things. And many people try to learn things that are far away and abroad, but there's so many things that we actually miss out on so close to home. So I guess these are the suggestions from this card. We have an affirmation message as well saying, I have confidence in my communication abilities. I have confidence in my communication abilities. Whatever issues you might be having in the situation, make sure you do communicate clearly. This is also a wonderful way to communicate and talk through these tendencies that are keeping you back, and also set clear boundaries. Communication is key. Reflection question for you from this card is, what are my favorite resources that my neighborhood offers? So really, you don't have to go far to find very good resources if you look for them, if you pay attention. So apparently there is some sort of learning lesson from the situation you find yourself in, very close to you, right in front of you, but for some reason you are disregarding it. So judging by the whole thing, say no to what you would be defaulting to, look at the situation from a different perspective, and the learning opportunity will instantly present itself. And of course, just if you needed the distraction from the situation, from the worries, whatever is troubling you, you can always also turn to the suggestions of this card just to reset your mind. Go read a book, go learn a new activity. And usually, when we have reset, refreshed, the solution comes to us much, much easier. Yeah. So learning and communication keys for this card. Now, the last card that we have here is a suggestion for action. So we have sixth house, well-being. Lovely, lovely picture here. Um, Seems that whatever you would be doing, if you follow the suggestions of these cards, learn new things, reset, get out of the old habits and learn to set boundaries as well, would be bringing you to your well-being. That is that is wonderful. So inspirations for you here are elevate your fitness. Maybe that is a good distraction to actually kind of do something physically, if especially if you don't really do that on a daily, that will definitely help you reset your mind. And then when you are, you know, refreshed, switch off that new activity that you haven't done in a while, back to whatever is troubling you, you will feel it's really easier to find new perspectives uh, once you have kind of switched off for a moment there. Second inspiration, lend a helping hand. Then connect with your colleagues is still all about communication and I guess seeking help or seeking advice or just talking to others. The advice and information might come just as is to you and learn more tools of the train. So we're still back to the learning topic. Learn more, keep developing yourself. If you're so involved into that situation that it's not letting you go to the point that you're losing yourself and not really doing any additional activities, not gonna developing yourself, then it is really easy to not find a way out of the situation. You're just so overly focused on whatever is troubling you that you really limit your perspective, your horizon there. So it is always advised to really step out, do something else, just to keep on developing and keep on your horizon, your perspective much, much broader. Still a reflection question for you. Oh yeah, and we skipped the affirmation. Affirmation, I am of service, helping others. Maybe turn to something else, turn to others instead of this situation troubling you. Stellar reflection question. What step can I take to elevate my well-being? Really, that is always a good question to think about. And we have it right above the tendency, so probably there are some sort of habits that could go away and really help you to improve your well-being in general. Okay, I think we have quite sufficient of advice here. This card really signals that you need to focus on your well-being. So make that your priority now, that you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually feel good. Because if you focus on yourself, I guess maybe that's what you are actually lacking in the situation, you definitely will. be able to find solutions. I'm pretty sure that will be the outcome. Just make sure you refresh yourself. You feel better. Then after that, everything will fall into place. Okay, good foods, relaxation, working on your health, pay attention to the others around you. Yes, be grounded and present in the moment. That will definitely, well, for the most of the people, that definitely makes their days more enjoyable, more fulfilled. So those are the advice from the card. And obviously, look out for the others and seek help from them. This is the reading. It's very, very general, but we're reading for the collective. Just a few thoughts and messages for you. If they relate to the situation and if this reading was helpful, I'm happy. If not, just leave the messages behind, and I still hope to see you again in my videos. We'll be wrapping up today. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone who came across this video. If you decide to help out, please leave some feedback, a comment, a like, subscribe, and I do appreciate everything, all the feedback from you guys. Thank you very much. Blessings to you. Have a wonderful second half of the week and see you in my next video. Bye.